ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Guru Pyareo, this question, when we're trying to decide what we're going to be doing in life, this question comes up: what career should I choose? What job should I choose? And especially when you're young, there's lots of pressure from your parents. When you get a little bit older, there may be more pressure from society or from your family. And usually when you're young, your parents want the best for you. They want you to become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. You want to go into something which you feel that you can express yourself in the best way. You can enjoy life. You can enjoy the luxuries of life. Your career are your actions in this world. That's why it's absolutely vital, very important, that a Gursikh chooses that their career is in line with Gurmat. Your career isn't something that you do just during the daytime for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. And then when you get home from work or before you go to work, that's what your Sikhi life is. Let me make this clear. If you become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a lawyer, you're not a lawyer or a doctor that happens to be a Sikh. You're a Sikh that is working as an engineer, that's working as a doctor. Let me repeat that. You are not a doctor or a lawyer that happens to be a Sikh. No, you're a Sikh that goes and works as a doctor and a lawyer. Your career has to be righteous. So first off, it's very clear that your job should not be opposite to Gurmat. It should not be going against the tenets, against the conducts of Sikhi, against the command of Guru Sahib. This will affect your spirituality. This will affect your day to day. Because if you, in this life, spend 40 hours a week, that much time is being invested into whatever your output is for this world or into this world. 40 hours a week for 50 years of your life, maybe more. When you leave this world, that is your legacy that you're giving to the world. That is your impression. That is your daan, that's your donation, that's what you're giving to the world. Make sure your job is righteous. Make sure you earn an honest living to be able to go and give more to the Panth. Because ultimately, what you do in this world, it's to help sustain your body. It's to help sustain life. You make an effort, you bring food on your table. And in fact, you should be able to give from that. Not just able to make for yourself, you should be able to give to others from that as well. Gurbani Sache Pacha says, Kaal khaye kich hathon de, nanak rah pachhane se. This is referring to those that were going on doors and begging and saying that if you don't give us food, we're going to curse your household. That was a tradition that was being done. But Guru Sahib Sache Pacha says, then you make the efforts to be able to give to people, not to go knock on doors and curse people. What you do on a daily basis, that is your gift to the world. Your job should be in line with Gurmat. Let me give an example. If you are spending so much effort and time to an employer who happens to be a tyrant, let's say you're working for Aurangzeb and your excuse was, I'm just doing my job. As a Gursikh, that's not enough. If you are aware of what your job is doing and you're killing innocent lives, you're putting others at risk, you're oppressing people, your efforts play a part in that. Therefore, that is a karma, and that's you leaving your footprint upon the world. That affects your spirituality as well. Now you might be saying, well, I'm just doing my job, get my earning, I come home. But Pyareo, if you make the effort, if you become aware of it, of what impact your job has, you can make a lot of changes. These things can affect you in a positive way and help the world in a positive way as well. Things that completely contradict Gurmat. Now that's something that has to be addressed. Your kirt, let's say you're saying, oh, I'm running a liquor store. This is something that's very common. You might be running a liquor store. You're selling liquor. Now, on the other hand, there are Gursikhs doing kirt, that's their job, and they're trying to stop people from drinking. They're trying to stop people from intoxicating themselves and live a righteous life. Somebody might be a counselor or a psychologist. Somebody might be a doctor, and they're trying to convince their patient to say, stop drinking. Please stop drinking. And then there's you, on the other hand. You're running a liquor store, and you're just saying it's my job, but what you're doing is for your earning, you're actually hindering the work of all these other people that are trying to stop them. You're actually doing prachar. You're spreading, you're preaching alcohol because you're advertising your store. You're putting it out there. You're giving it. You're making it easier for people to access it. And then that money you're earning is off of people walking down the wrong way. So as a Gursikh, there's no way you could be running an alcohol store, a liquor store. There's absolutely no way you could be running your own salon, whether it's in your basement. You're cutting case, that's Beadabi of Guru Sahib's Kakar, a virtue, a blessing that's gifted to the Khalsa Panth to keep their hair intact. And you doing prachar of that, you might be keeping your own case, but then if you're cutting other people's case, you're going against your own righteousness. You're actually being a hypocrite. You're saying, I believe this, but then I'm making money off of this as well. So therefore, that goes without saying. That anything that is against Gurmat, you cannot be doing that as your career choice. That goes same thing for if you're an Amritdhari Gursikh and let's say you're promoting sexual figures in let's say a pornography industry, you're in a movie industry, in advertising, in whatever way. There's people doing prachar on stages saying, stop looking at these things. Move your eyes away. What you look at that affects your spirituality, that affects your eyes, trying to work the world into a discipline which helps them refrain from these vices, and instead somebody else is promoting all of this. And if you're subscribing to any of these, every action that you do is supporting one thing. You're either supporting Gurmat or you're not supporting Gurmat. You're supporting the opposite. You're supporting those that support the vices, that are helping increase the vices. You're either lighting the fire in the world or you're removing the fire from the world. You have one choice or the other. Whose side do you want to stand on? So you cannot be taking part in any of these sort of things as well. Now, if we go through every profession, this video can become very long. But let's focus in on your choice. Let's say okay, it's clear to you, I'm not going to open a liquor store. I'm not going to, cut people's hair. I'm not going to butcher people. I'm not going to, take the poor people in the world and oppress them even more, expose them and do difficult and put them through difficult times. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something righteous, where if I'm doing something in my world, I'm making money in that way, that I'm actually gifting something to the world in that. Now let's stop there. Let's look at another angle to this. Somebody might say, you know what, I'm an accountant. I earn money, I go there, and it's not really making a difference. It's not helping the world. It's not making the world any worse. It's just doing its thing. You go to work, you plug in your numbers, and you come home. You're a lawyer. You go to your office. You go to court. You deal with the daily traffic court violations, traffic violations, or maybe you're a criminal lawyer with different ways you could be doing it. In all of these ways, you're doing a kirtan. It might feel to you you're not making a difference, you're not making it worse. You're helping run a system. This system is run on a currency. This is the way the world works. Through hunger of the stomach, people need to do something in order to bring food to fill their stomach, and then people want, beyond that, people want luxury, so they want more money. There was many Gursikhs and Bhagats, even if we look into history, Bhagat Ravadas ji, we look at Bhagat Namdev ji, we look at, Bhagat Kabir ji. They did tasks. Somebody was a weaver, somebody, was working with leather skins, somebody was making shoes. Everybody's doing a different job, a different daily kirt. Now, that weaving may not be going and, solving world poverty or world hunger, but that kirt is righteous within it. You are able to do your job of accounting, of whatever work it might be. You're doing IT work, you're working with Facebook or YouTube or wherever you work. You are running a system in the world. You know how it works. You're invested in it. You invested 15, 20 years into it. You've done the education, the degrees, you've gotten the work experience for it. This is what it leads up to. You're running a thing. That's great. Now you utilize that time, that effort, those resources that you've done, you have to take out your daswant from it. Now you know it's not going against Gurmat. You're able to take out 10% of your earnings, if not more. You want to also take out 10% of your time throughout the day and be able to give. It can't be just, you work 18 hours a day and just running your household, and then you do nothing for the Panth, you do nothing for humanity. Your time and your finances both have to be able to be available for the Panth, to be able to be there for humanity, for you to give. But as a Gursikh that's fully invested in the Panth, you need to do a lot better. Now, at the beginning, as a student, it might be difficult. Let's say you've worked higher in your field. You've become the CEO of your company. You're a high-level position in YouTube, Microsoft, Facebook, any of these big companies, these tech companies. You're working in the auto industry. You're working in the government. Bhai Subeg Singh, who became Shaheed, he was a government officer under Zakaria Khan. He was doing that task, but he was doing it righteous. Anytime Zakaria would do anything wrong, he would speak out against it. He would be there to be speaking, and he would be loyal to the Khalsa. He would take anything that he would be able to gather, take that information and resources and go and deliver that to the Khalsa Panth. He was always loyal to that, no matter what actual job he was doing. Now, if Bhai Subeg Singh went against the Khalsa Panth and said, I'm just doing my job and I need to, Khalsa Panth, you need to get out of here, then he wouldn't be fulfilling his duty. If you're working in any of these places, yes, you have to abide by your job, and sometimes it feels like those are restrictions. If you are in a position where you have the ability to speak in a boardroom, you have to have those virtues ingrained inside of you, that you can stand up in that position. And if the rest of the company is saying, this is going to cause a lot of people to be oppressed and cause a lot of stress on some people, and it's not, let's say, good for humanity or whatever it might be, or the environment, whatever it might be, your job as a Gursikh is to make sure to look out for these things. Your job is to be there and not go according to, we can increase our profits by 15%. Or am I going to do the right thing and say, speak my thing and tell them, no, this is absolutely wrong. This is something you as a Gursikh need to be able to grow into these powers of position to be able to speak. If you are invested in something like tech, law, as a doctor, you need to be able to not use that position to become corrupt. You need to be able to use that position to become righteous. You can become a doctor. You can become the greatest doctor. But if you do nothing for the Khalsa Panth, somebody else could have become that doctor. What was the point? Yeah, you made lots of money. You bought a big house. You drive your Range Rover down the road and you show everybody that you're a doctor. But what have you actually done for the Panth? Yes, you've done great things for humanity. But there are a lot of doctors that are taking that position and using it in the wrong way. You know, I'm not sure, I'm not saying this as a fact, but the whole thing that the conversation that's been happening after the passing of Hazuri Ragi Bhai Nirmal Singh, you know, they're saying that one report said that he didn't have coronavirus, the next report saying he does and there's no room for him. Why can't Gursikhs get together? Why can't, if there's, I know there's more than 15 doctors, Gursikh doctors in this world, why can't all of them get together, join with a businessman, and then be able to bring out some sort of developed structure for the Khalsa Panth, where every Kathavachik, Hazuri Ragi, those people that are trying to spread this message for the Khalsa Panth, why can't they have, you know, Hazuri Ragi health insurance? Why isn't that available? If you're a doctor and you're making millions, I say there's no point in you making millions. You've done nothing for the Panth if you have not invested or even thought of something like this. If you're a lawyer, you've made the high, of course, if you're just graduated out of law school, I'm not saying this is possible for you, but you need to strive towards these things. You become a lawyer. You know, you have your lawyer buddies. You're making lots of money. Let's say you're in a position and in the court and you're saying, you know what, I know this person is wrong, but I need to make money, so I fight for him anyway. Or are you going to figure out a way to use your position to be able to fight for righteousness? Are you going to change your position? Are you not going to support those types of those types of people anymore? Or are you not going to take on those types of cases? Then when you get high enough, if you're a judge, you know, you own your own law firm. Can you use these resources to fight for Sikh rights? Help, for example, the Afghan Sikhs. Bring out more charitable organizations to raise funds or put your funds towards that. If you're, let's say, somebody that's, you know, you're very successful in business, why can't 3-4 businessmen get together, put some funds together, put in their equity, and then run a business, raise a business? Because if you're already running 4 businesses, what is, you know, you're putting 10% of your time to raise another business, so that business itself, which is righteous, can generate its own income. Once it's generating its own income, you put some percent of it, enough for that company to sustain itself, back into the company. Then you take all of the profits of that company and invest it into Gursikhi Prachar. You can help organizations like Basics of Sikhi or other Prachar organizations across the world. You can put those funds towards Khalsa Aid or different charities or World Sikh Organization. Different groups, Sikhs, that are already invested and putting all of their life, you know, all of their time invested into helping the Panth and humanity. If you are successful in that is your role. Maybe somebody that's, you know, a lawyer, or, you know, somebody else that's that was very successful in business. They sacrifice their time and their money, their career, in order to drop down their business, scale down their business to be able to invest into these types of things. So my request to you is, make sure you have that Panthic vision. If you don't have that Panthic vision, really, I don't see any point of you going into these positions. And yeah, you can post on Instagram that, yeah, we have Gursikh doctors, they're representing us. But is representing us enough? I don't think that's just enough. There's so many greater ways to be representing us. You can grow the thing that's powering you to be able to represent you. So even if we look at Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sache Paatshah's bachan, they say, "Sev kari in hi ki palo, sev kari in hi ki pavat, aur ki sev suhat na ji ko." They say, I don't want to serve anyone else. If I'm going to be doing seva, I'm going to be doing seva of the Khalsa Panth. This Khalsa Panth is why this righteousness survives and it strives. They say, if I'm going to donate, daan diyo in hi kapalo, ar aan ko daan lagat niko, or else I'm not going to give any donation to anybody else. I'm going to give all my donation towards the cause of this Khalsa Panth, towards this Panth, to be able to grow it. There's so many different ways that we can talk about it. I know there's a lot of Gursikhs that are in the tech industry, that are into the web developing, software development, and they do create these beautiful apps like iGurbani, Shabad OS, to be able to help the Panth and read Gurbani. Maybe they have time on their hands, but some people are not doing that. Maybe there's ways that we can help the tech brothers and sisters through business, through law. Maybe they're struggling with law. I know through basics, there's always constant ups and downs, and we need advice from somebody that's from a law background, somebody that's from a business background, helping us create ways, develop different structures to be able to expand beyond our current diaspora. There's always these discussions happening, and there are so many people. Boy, can we reach out to them, and then there's so many different ways that Gursikhs can link with each other and invest a little bit of their skills into something. Now, what is a career? Let's go back to this. A career, you can say, is your job. That's one way of looking at it, but a career is also your skill set. That's if you go into more post-secondary type of careers, or even into trades. Your career is your skill set, what you can do, what you can offer. If you can't offer your money, if you can't offer your business, you can offer that skill set to put towards something, to put towards these organizations, put towards these times. Because when we look at, there was a Bhagat that came into my mind, Bhagat Sadhanaji. They were a butcher. Their job that they were doing was not righteous. It was causing pain. It was not a compassionate job. Now I'm going to brief the Sakhi, shorten it down. You can watch the full Sakhi on our channel. Bhagat Sadhanaji, as a butcher, as a Kasai, they would butcher goats and different types of animals and sell them. There was a belief during that time that Bhagat Sadhanaji, who was a butcher, could not reach enlightenment, but they tried doing bhakti. They tried devotional worship as much as they could. And as they were doing this, they did begin to experience things, begin to feel things, but they always felt there was a hindrance. As they were doing this seva of theirs, or their job of theirs, one day somebody came up to them before they were about to close their shop and said, I need just 2 legs or 1 leg of the goat. I don't need the rest. So they went back and they were about to cut the goat, and through their experience they felt as if the goat was laughing to them, and the goat spoke to them. And the goat said, what is this new thing that you've started? And Bhagat Sadhanaji said, what do you mean? And he said, look, so many janams of ours have gone like this. Sometimes you become the goat and then I become the butcher. Then I become the butcher and you become the goat, and vice versa. And we've always just been killing each other, and this is how we throw on our karmas to each other. We throw on this karma to each other. But now you're going to cut part of my body and then wait till the morning so I can suffer all night? What is this something that you're starting? And then because of this realization or this experience that they had, they went back to the person that came to their shop and said, I can't, I'm helpless. I can't offer you part of the goat's legs or part of the goat's body. After that, they gave up. They changed their way of their career. They changed their job. They began to rise above, move away from this karma and be able to experience this. There was a Mahampurkh I knew, a great saint that I knew. He was staying at somebody's house. While staying at their house, the mother of that house, the auntie, she came to the Mahampurkh, and she was always saying that we try to read so much Gurbani, but for some reason we can never focus. For some reason there's always problems in our household and which distract us. And the Mahampurkh, while sitting in the house, he felt something a little bit off, but he said, we'll speak about it in the morning. The next day came, and he noticed some people coming from the outside going into their basement. And yes, why are those people that aren't part of the family coming into our basement? And then the son said, oh, mom runs a beauty salon where she cuts hair, she does the makeup, did all these things inside of in the basement. And the Mahampurkh said, well, that's why she can't focus, because on one end she's trying to grow her love for Guru Sahib. On the other side, she's promoting cutting hair and bodily beauty, which is all false. Instead, she should be trying to become more and more humble within herself and that the way that you earn your money, if that's the food that you are eating, then that's affecting your spirituality. How you earn that food, what food it is, how it's made, who made it, and then when you're eating it, all of these things affect your spirituality, affect your mentality. That's what the whole story is behind Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Bhai Lalo Ji, and Malik Bhago, who basically was making money from oppressing people. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, your food is of blood, and Bhai Lalo Ji, his food was of milk, was of amrit, because he was humble even though it was dry bread. Based off of these things, your income, money will come in some sort of way. Look, you're educated, you're smart. The way the economy runs, supply and demand, the way the stocks go up and down, all of these things, the way you make that income, that makes a difference. What you do in your job as that person, if you're shaping your business towards righteousness or you're leading it towards somewhere else just to grow money, that is going to make a big difference. And if you're leading it towards the other way, to be honest, you're doing the things that are actually against what we're doing. We're trying to teach Sikhi, because we can't preach Sikhi. Sikhi in itself is just power. It's powerful in itself. So there's no point in convincing anyone. It's just, you just teach Sikhi as it is, and that changes people's lives. Gursikhs are trying to reach out and do kirtan and spread kirtan across the world. And if you're you own a record studio and you're releasing songs that are full of slander and dirty talk, objectifying women, and you call yourself a Sikh, there's no point. You're actually doing the opposite prachar. If you're saying, you could be a Punjabi singer, this absolutely bugs me. You're a Punjabi singer, and all your songs about objectifying women, drugs, alcohol, you call yourself a Jat, and all that kind of stuff. There's no way you can call yourself a Sikh. Your khanda that's hanging from your neck or from your car, that means nothing. You're fake, you're false. You're actually opposite of prachar. You're doing anti-prachar. And if you're a record person that's releasing these types of things, and if you're a singer and saying, I love Guru Sahib, and then you release this one album that's your dharmic album, you're a hypocrite. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji would have, completely destroyed you. On one end, you're saying, this is my dharmic album. What are you trying to spread through that? You're trying to spread good things, but all your other songs are complete garbage. They're exact opposite. You're saying you're going to light a whole bunch of fire and then put a little bit of water, pretending to put a little bit of water to take out that fire. No. You need to be, there's a lot of record studios that are releasing kirtan, releasing, katha. That's beautiful. You can do that type of thing. If you can turn that into a business, you can turn that into your righteous living. That's great. Somebody's doing lectures, somebody's, a professor in a university and they're educating. That's beautiful. Make sure you teach the right things. No matter which angle you look at it from, whichever position you're in, the principle is always going to be the same. Are you loyal to Gursikhi? Are you in love with Sikhi to the core? Are you willing to sacrifice every single thing, every aspect of your life, whether it's finances, publicity, the way people think of you, your networking, all of these things, just to do the righteous and the Guru's thing? Are you able to do that? Or are you going to lean towards impressing people, doing what you feel is right, enjoying your own life? No. A Gursikh shouldn't even be leaning towards the thing of, well, I just want to enjoy life. Enjoying life comes automatically when you're doing the right thing. But saying, I'll do a good thing, but then let me just enjoy my life by doing all of those things that are opposing to Sikhi, then all of that money that you made through your righteousness, you're putting it towards the wrong cause as well. These are a lot of conversations that we need to open up in this work environment. Especially if you're young, you're trying to figure out a career to go into. Maybe there's a way you're trying to, maybe you're an artist. You're an artist that has the ability to draw. somebody else is trying to, promote Gurbani in one way, and you're able to draw out or visualize the Pangtiyan of Toha Prasad Sawaiya. I'm saying this because one of our Sevadars with Basics of Sikh, he actually had this idea where he wanted to visualize Toha Prasad Sawaiya and wanted to get into contact with an artist. And an artist can help him visualize and draw it out, and then they can release it in this way. There's so many possibilities. It's endless. So let me go back to the main thing. No matter what career you go into, the way to make a choice is this: that you are going to do this job as a Sikh. Imagine you were born and raised, you're trained in the Khalsa Panth. That's what your allegiance is. You're trained in this. And now the Khalsa Panth is sending you out into this world as a beacon of light, as, I shouldn't say spy, but as somebody that's alleged, or whose allegiance aligns with the truth, with righteousness, with the betterment of humanity, with spreading food and freedom across the world. These are the things that should be instilled within you, and wherever you go in the workforce, no matter which environment, whatever field you're in, you're putting that at the forefront and using that to represent yourself. That is what allows the world to see somebody as, wow, that person's a Gursikh. And we love Gursikhs. The whole thing of students from India coming towards the Western countries, Australia or Canada or the US, that's amazing. They're working for righteousness. They're working for a better future, working for their families. But it's so upsetting to see those facts when they say that the only way to get a job is when we move ourselves from Sikhi, or they're coming here to getting into the wrong environments. Why aren't their abilities, to grow all of these things? If you're a businessman, you have money, or maybe you're somebody that has land, you're a real estate investor and you have land sitting there. Why can't we utilize these things to, grow homeless shelters, to do camps, to do different things, or to invest in whatever way it can be into the future of the Panth, right? So that if these young entrepreneurs, young workers, young students are available and ready to be there, why isn't the Khalsa Panth? Why doesn't the Khalsa Panth already have everything step by step laid out for them? Different faiths have this. There's different communities of my friends that I speak to. They say, yeah, so we go into this type of workforce or guidance, or we can go tap into the Islamic one. They have an Islamic one, or they have the Chinese one, they have the Jewish one. We don't have that in the same laid out way, the same method on a grand scale as some of these other faiths might be. Maybe it's because we waste a lot of money on useless things, on trying to make our son's wedding the biggest wedding in the bend or something like that, or lok dikhawa, trying to impress people around the world. This stuff ruins us a lot of times, because that's kind of the culture we grew up in. I know this was kind of there, not within my family directly, but kind of around the relatives and around the friend circles or the family relative circles, where everyone's comparing, acha tera munda ki karda, what is your son doing? Oh, my son's a doctor. Oh, my son's he's a lawyer now. Oh, my son's working in business now. Oh, my son is doing his master's now. My daughter's doing this now. And they're all comparing, and and then one parent feels like, oh, my children are inferior, so they're trying to force the children to do better than your cousin, or do better than your taye da munda. All of these things, there's comparisons, which is absolutely horrible for raising children, or your house environment. That we'll have to discuss in a different video on raising children, how to grow then and develop that environment from the very beginning in your household to raise your children as Gursikhs. When that comparison is made, okay, who are you going to impress? And then this biggest thing that gets thrown in, that you need to get a job so you get married properly. That's the wrong way to look at a career. I need to get a job just to get married. Now, I'm sure the students might not be thinking like that. The children aren't thinking like that. But sometimes these pressures are put upon those children that are making these careers, that are making these choices, trying to decide their life. And I'm sure the parents are thinking about it for their best interest. But it's completely for the wrong reason. You're not doing it to get married properly. You're not doing it to, impress your rishtadars or to have the most luxurious life. Those are automatic byproducts. You can have a beautiful life, working a mediocre job and having enough income, just live below your means and you're living life. Maybe you won't be able to have 6 cars outside your house. Maybe that's not your goal. You want to live humbly. But the career choice of a Sikh should be of how it's going to affect the world. How can I grow myself to give more to the world, give more to the Panth? If you're not giving back to the Panth, and a soldier of the army that does not give back to the army, does not help move forward the mission of the army, cannot be considered a asset to the army. Instead, they're a liability. They're only taking things away from the army. The army is investing. I'm referring to the Khalsa Panth. The army is investing in that person. The army is taking care. All of these resources. Why do you think, the Gurdwara for us to meditate? Why do you think all of these resources, prachar, the langars, these student development programs? There's so many different organizations across the world that are doing so much to help the Khalsa Panth internally. It's not that they just to help our community. That's not good enough. It's to help the community so they can grow into these beautiful, ideal Gursikhs, that they carry on this mission of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. They spread, Guru Nanak Dev Ji works through them. That if they are there, then the elders, those that are investing into this, they can sit back and, they can relax and they can feel comfortable that, we raise the next generation of the Khalsa Panth in a proper way. That these people, these Gursikhs, they'll carry it on. We have full faith and full trust in them. That's the beauty of it. Now, if the army is investing all of these things and they're giving nothing back to the army, then they're a liability. They're taking resources and not putting anything back. So, let me say that first statement again. You're a Gursikh that is going out and working as a carpenter, as an electrician, as a mechanic, as a doctor, as a lawyer, as an engineer, whether you're a politician, whether you're, a Queen's Guard, whether you're a policeman, whether you're in the, US Army, it doesn't matter where you are, you can become a singer. Just sing the right things, sing those things that are helping move forward the mission of Sikhi. If you're fighting, if you're a policeman, make sure you're doing the things that are righteous. If you're a doctor, and same forth, all of these things. If you're a politician, same goes for you. You're a Gursikh that on a daily basis is doing that task. But you're working for the Khalsa Panth. You move that forward, that mission forward. When the Khalsa Panth's mission moves forward and it strives, then we know the Khalsa Panth. Then we know that our mission is actually being fruitful. All of our efforts that we're putting, they're not going in vain. Food and freedom for the world, righteousness, spreading, pyar, love, unity, getting rid of vices, connecting to God, diving deep within ourselves, spirituality. These are the things that we want to be able to step towards. So with all of these things being said, there's a lot of conversation and different aspects and angles we can look at it. But I want you to take some of these things and think about them. Let me know in the comments in different ways that maybe you have an idea that we could do this for the Panth on a career basis, business basis. Email us, comment to us. We're actually looking for a lot of sevadars that can offer, I'm not trying to throw in our own plug here, but they can offer their skill set that organizations like Basics of Sikhi, or maybe it's Experience Sikhi, or Seek to Inspire, Nanak Naam, Khalsa Aid, sorry for the organization that I didn't mention. There's so many organizations, Eco Sikhs, United Sikhs, whatever it might be, right? All of them, they're striving to make the Khalsa Panth stronger and to spread the Guru's prachar, spread the wisdom and the mission of the Guru. if you have these skill sets that you're wanting to offer, maybe you don't know how to offer, get in touch. Maybe we can take 2-3 different sevadars, people that are offering their skill sets or their time or their money or their resources, and we can move forward and create something new. That'd be beautiful. And these opportunities are all there. But the thing that's always a hindrance is resources. Manpower. You talk to any organization, resources, manpower, engagement. These are the things that always cause the hindrance. The vision, the potential is always there. So pyareo, while talking, while speaking, I've said many things. If I've said anything wrong, if I've hurt anybody's heart, please have it in your heart to forgive me. So ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਜੀ, ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ Fateh.
Like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.